Hello folks, it's Wednesday and we're going to keep on cooking. 23rd of October. Just to do a follow-up, yesterday I pulled and talked about the Blue Nile. When I talk about bands, I don't always show everything I have. And so of course I get those responses like, oh, I bet he doesn't know about this, but hey, fuck, I do. Walk Across the Rooftops, of course I know about the first Blue Nile album. I don't have it on vinyl. And I have this one. Take it out of here so you can see it. I actually had more Blue Nile and sold it in the past. But High are like this. This is good. They're consistent. It's high quality. It's sophisticated music. I even have a 3-inch CD, The Downtown Lights. Have you seen that? A 3-inch CD by the Blue Nile. I will say that, I do seem a little bit, irritable and prickly at times. I know it comes across, and I've explained it before, but I'll explain again, because it is a bit of a knee-jerk reaction that I get depending on what is said, because of my life experience. And I'm going to explain it again, because I think it's important for you to know. It's something that I still see happening and deal with, which is being a person of color, depending on the situation and who you're talking to. Others, especially white people, it even happens with other black people, depending on the situation, just make assumptions, One of the big assumptions that I've dealt with all my life is that, well, you probably don't know about this, or you don't know about that, and so it will come across in questions or comments people make, and it will be irritating. It's like, well, I know about that. Why assume that I wouldn't know about it? It does seem there are racial experiences that feed that feeling inside of me, which is, well, I know about that. It's like, why, it happens so much that it's a knee-jerk reaction on my part to think this person thinks I don't know what I'm talking about, or they think this is all new to me. It's not new to me. That's what that's about, and it's probably always going to be part of how I talk, because I encounter it so much. It's one of the ways that I talk about racism in this red state of Nebraska. When you deal with institutions and businesses, the way that you'll be followed in stores, the way that people will ask you certain questions, like they assume that, well, you don't have any money, or you don't have any experience with this, you haven't been anywhere, you don't know nothing, That's what that's about, okay? I can talk about this release from Discus Music, the Anthropology Band. Martin Archer's Anthropology Band. This is a double disc where he's got all these players. Martin's a busy man. I get the impression that he's making a lot of music all of the time. What we have here is two different groups of musicians doing this music. One is a septet on one CD, and the other is a brass and wind ensemble on the other. And there is a reference to Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock in this music and the way that it rolls out. It seems to come from the tradition, and you can call it that now, of what Miles Davis discovered around the time of Bitches Brew and In a Silent Way. The way that seemingly disparate elements can come together to create something new. And the way this rolls out, that's what I hear exactly going on. There's even a point where I hear pretty much a direct reference to my ears to Herbie Hancock's Crossings, one of my favorite albums. This is very engaging. The interplay on this is really good. But I have to say that there is something about this that I am not happy with, and that is the drumming. It's not that the drummer isn't bad, but I'll tell you this is just my opinion. But with a more fiery drummer, there's things that are happening musically on this with all the musicians that had the rhythm section been inspired, it could have taken the music to a whole higher level to my listening. I have to tell that because it was the thing that was bugging me. I listened to, again, part of this morning, the A disc. I really like how it starts, and then as it builds, the thing that keeps catching my ear is that man, I wish the drummer was a little more inspired. He's doing his job, but this could be, if it was pushed, kind of like what Miles Davis did with his drummers. People that drummed with him, Jack DeJohnette, Tony Williams, they pushed the music. They pushed the music. That's the one criticism I have to share about Anthropology Band. Overall, I really like this, and that's what I'm just thinking, man. I wish the drums were just a little hotter. Anthropology Band on Discus Music Records. I hope that by being honest, I didn't blow it. I think that a lot of you folks won't even know what I'm talking about when you hear this. Drums are really important to me, and I play the drums. You know, I don't play drums currently now, but I'm a drummer. I know how to play. And drums are just real important to me, so I notice. This is very good, though. Very good. Particularly the ensemble playing is very good. Some wonderful stuff going on there. Pick up on the Anthropology Band by Martin Archer. That's what I'll say. And I've got one more to do, but I am not ready. McGuire, Pine, and Hewins. Need to get into that a little bit more. Folks, once again, thank you, folks. These go out today. Thank you very much for the response. I've actually run out of mailers, so I have to order some more. But I'm glad that I'm doing this. You know, we do make assumptions when we don't have information, and I've been doing videos for so long that usually within a day or so, there's about 1,000 people who watch the video. And I don't know who's watching, so it's easy for me to assume it's basically the same people watching. But with the large base of subscribers that I have, apparently it isn't always the same people watching. And so there were people who let me know they didn't even realize that I had this out, that they weren't watching all the videos and didn't see. So it's a good thing I'm doing this so that you know this is available. And I was checking my supply, and I have more black vinyl than I realized. I haven't sold as many of those as I thought I did. So when I get to a certain point here with the yellow, when it gets down there and I decide, well, okay, that's enough. I've still got enough to keep the sale going. I'm going to put the black vinyl on sale, and I'm going to sell it like I am now at this reduced rate of $10. Because I want you to hear the music. I want you to own the records. And if that's important to me. You know, they've been sitting here since 2013. Let's get these. Let's sell them. Let's get them out. I was busy with Dreama yesterday evening, and so I didn't play any records except with them. talking about. This is the Indrima album that I released in conjunction with Team Love Records, and we're gonna play our 1 gig a year tomorrow night. Really like playing with the band a lot. This is another release on my label. I'm completely sold out of it. I recommend it. It's very psychedelic, very wild. Very, very wild. I wanted to try to remember. Oh yeah, they're in the closet, but recently the oldest of the Chambers brothers passed away. I think his name is George Chambers. And I've been meaning to just say something about the Chambers brothers, which again points to racism, which I'm going to keep it on the plate because it's not being dealt with. It reminds me of I just listened on NPR to Neil Young being interviewed about his latest album, and the announcer brings up climate, and Neil Young got annoyed. I love Neil Young because people are not taking it seriously. They're treating it like a trend, and that's what Neil Young said. You know, this is no joke. People are not taking this serious, you know, and got into the announcer's ass a little bit. And so the Chambers brothers were one of the first, they were one of the first psychedelic bands, you know, all black except for one white drummer. And they're always not talked about. You know, they talk about In an Iron Butterfly and Blue Cheer, but they don't talk about the Chambers brothers. And those brothers were dark brothers. They were black. You know what I'm saying? And I do know about the history of this society. Racism and color, dark blacks, you know, scary, you know, and they had to deal with that, you know, and what I'm trying to say is they are not venerated and honored as they deserve to be as one of the pioneers of rock music and psychedelia. Many books, because I read, many books talk about In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida being one of the first classic psychedelic hits. But Time Has Come Today by the Chambers brothers preceded that by at least a year. And that is psychedelic. And that's the one, when you first heard it, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? What is it? Wow. But we don't hear about the Chambers brothers like we hear about white acts. It's a double standard, you know, it sucks. So I just bring it up, you know, because it's there. It sucks. I'm gonna do one poll and I'm gonna go. It's time for the videos to be short again, apparently, you know. Okay, I've been over here. Let me go up. Let me go back up here, where again I know basically what's here, but I'm gonna try to grab one that. Oh, let's see, what did I get? Well, I know it's up there. So this is in my Camel. It's the C section. There's a lot of Catherine Wheel, Camel, Can up there. And here we have Like Cats and Dogs, the recent Record Store Day reissue of this. I do have the original 10-inch. I love the band Catherine Wheel. One of the finest bands to come out of England, in my opinion, along with the House of Love. In many ways, I rate Catherine Wheel and the House of Love much, much higher than bands like Oasis and Radiohead and all the other ones that you always hear about. I think these guys, they're just better to me. And this is the purple vinyl reissue. Great band. Great band. So that's the poll I wanted. Cover by Hypnosis, Storm Thorgerson. The guy that was behind most of the Pink Floyd covers as well. This is his design with the twins. I have a book about Storm Thorgerson and Hypnosis where he talks about his process. You know, and they would do things. They would, frankly, I'd say waste. They wasted a lot of money creating things in real time and in reality. Like the picture of all the beds on the beach, you know, stretching into infinity. You know, those were real beds, you know. Spending all that money, you know, But I guess that's part of the mystique of the work that they did. So one more, okay? One more. I'm over here a lot. Strawbs, okay, Grave New World. Started out as a folk band, Strawberry Hill Boys or some kind of stuff. Dave Cousins, Rick Wakeman was involved with them for a while. They became very commercial, but their early to mid-period albums, where they were embracing prog as well as folk, I really like them. I haven't played this one in a while, but I really like the Strawbs, and they're still out. They're not in the closet. A lot of bands from this time period, you know, when I run out of room, they go off the shelf. But Strawbs are there because I'll still play them. I like that band a lot. I do. So, once again, it's on my mind to say that if I respond in the comments or ever say something that's kind of prickly to you, I apologize. You know, it is who I am, though. And I do want you to try to understand the continuing double standard in this world that is dealt with by people who are non-white. I'm a perfect example. And it's wrong, it's unfair, and it just goes on. And so I bring it up. Like I said, like Neil Young brought up how he thought the guy was belittling the climate change focus of Neil Young's new album. And Neil Young lit his ass up. I really enjoyed hearing it, you know. I hate my mouth. We are in the grips of leaders and people who are in positions of power who have absolutely no business being there because they are so irresponsible, self-serving, and oh, it just sucks, you know. It just sucks. That's all I got to say right now.